Hey everyone. So I just finished watching the movie Joker, and just before I even start about uh, talking about the storyline and stuff like that, um, just a warning: I'm going to be spoiling some stuff. I'm gonna try not to say everything so I don't spoil too much, but I do feel like what I'm about to say may be considered spoilery. And so if you haven't seen a Batman movie, and when I say Batman movie, I'm talking about live action, not cartoon version, like the Michael Keaton version or um, the what's his name, the Christopher Nolan version of Joker, or the Jared Leto version, then you'll see why it could be considered spoilery. So this is your warning now. So if you want to stop watching now because you haven't seen it yet, by all means go ahead. I won't hold it against you. If you have seen it and you want to hear what my thoughts are about it, then by all means. If you haven't seen it but you don't care about being spoiled about certain parts of the movie, then by all means continue on watching. That's up to you. I'm not going to force you to do anything because you're the one who has control of whether you continue on watching or stop it. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, first things first, amazing Joker. I can't say enough great things about it. I do feel like Joaquin Phoenix should at least get a nomination for his portrayal as the Joker, at least. I'm not going to say that he deserves to win because I have no idea who else would be nominated for Best Actor for I guess you could say drama, but I do feel like he should at least get a nomination. Um, so first things first, it's not one of those explosion all the time type of thing. There's actual storyline to it. Um, there's kind of a Mr. Robot vibed situation to go along with it, in the sense that, for example, in the second season, throughout, and sorry, this is spoiler if you haven't seen the second season, for like pretty much the whole season, you think, oh, uh, the Rami Malek's character Elliot is free and he's doing all this stuff, when in actual fact he's actually in jail the whole time. They kind of do that in the Joker movie where they make you think because Joaquin Phoenix's character Joker is narrating the whole movie, not like actually saying stuff in the background, but you're to believe that this is how he sees everything, then you learn that not everything what you see is actual fact, and it makes you question things. For example, in the trailers, you see the African American woman with their daughter in goes into the elevator, and they make you think, oh, they're friendly with each other, and then later you see him go into her apartment and to have sex or something like that, and when his mother ends up in the hospital, she's there too. But in actual fact, that was just all in his head. That it never actually happened, because when he goes into her apartment, and this is going to be actually the first time you realize, or he starts to realize that that never happened, and it was just all in his head. Kind of like how when he sees the talk show for the first time, or when we see him watch the talk show for the first time, which the talk show host is Robert De Niro, and you see him imagining himself on the show. that's kind of a similar way to think about it. So um, there are certain points in time where you kind of wonder, well, is this just all in his head, or whether this is actually real and stuff like that? Because and in that same scene where he's going up the elevator with the mother and the daughter, if you look carefully enough on I believe the left hand side, you'll see a drawing which in green that could be considered Batman's face or mask or whatever, and that could just be like a little hint to, hey, Batman is in this universe, but not there yet, because later on in the movie, and it's also in the trailer, you see Bruce Wayne as a little kid. And obviously that is, he has to be a little kid because Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne are still alive at this point and not dead. So, because if they were dead, then he would, then this would be a little bit more of a different story. A lot of people consider this or some people consider this I would say, Ben Affleck version, in the sense that, but in my mind, I kind of feel like this is more of a Michael Keaton version, the Tim Burton version, where as a kid, Martha and Thomas Wayne get killed, and later on in life, you find out that the person that killed the parents was actually the Joker, but just as a younger person, because in the movie they kind of make you think, oh, someone else did it, but it couldn't. There's a way that you could think, oh, it could be this, or oh, it could be that. So you wonder, because they kind of quickly go to Joaquin Phoenix in an insane asylum, talking to someone that was kind of like what Harley Quinn's character's job was. Not to say it was her, because it wasn't, because she was African American, and also I didn't see the name tag, so I couldn't be 100% sure. But at the end, she ends up being killed, because you can clearly know that she's dead, because when he's walking away from the room, you can see red footprints coming from his feet, and each step it takes, there's less of a blood, less red. So you can tell that she actually was killed at the end. So a lot of this movie, you kind of question what is real, what is fake, what is in his mind and what isn't in his mind. I mean, I feel like there are some things that are real, and you could tell that they're real, in the sense of there's a part where he ends up killing 3 guys that were beating him up. That was real. The part where he's being chased by 2 cops, and he ends up starting a fight on the subway, or a train, and that's obviously real. But there's other things that you question. Well, is this real or fake? Was he adopted, or was he not adopted? Like little things like that. I mean, was he a certain person's son or not? I'm not going to say whose son they think it is, but it makes you question things, and that's a good thing. That's one of the reasons why I like the movie, that it wasn't just about explosions and stuff. It's about the process of him becoming the actual Joker. So I thought that was pretty cool too. And a lot of people didn't like the the clown mask or painting on his face. But you have to question, like, where did it start? Like, how did he, what was his face paint look like? Where did he get the idea to go from uh, no face paint or face paint, but like like a certain kind, to how you see in the Christopher Nolan movies, the Michael Keaton version, the Jared Leto version, the Mark Hamill version, all those different Jokers. How did it start? And this could be one version of how it started. So I thought that was interesting also. This could also be a kind of like the TV show Gotham, in the sense that Joaquin's Phoenix's character could be the catalyst to the actual Joker, and maybe the the Joker that Bruce Wayne meets later on in life could be the different person that didn't actually kill uh, someone's parents or whatever. You never know. So it was kind of interesting. So overall, awesome. I think Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job. Um, I do feel like, and I don't know if this is just me thinking this or whether I totally making things up in my head, but I kind of feel like at first when people heard that Joaquin Phoenix was the Joker, they weren't happy about it, and I think that was the same with Heath Ledger. But then when they actually saw him, then they're like, "Oh, he's actually really good." And I think that was the same with Christian Bale when he was announced to be Batman. I don't think a lot of people thought he could be a good Batman, but then they saw him, and then he's like, "Oh man, he's actually a pretty good Batman." Same with Ben Affleck. They didn't want him to be Batman, but he ended up being a half decent Batman. So it was kind of one of those things where I kind of feel like people should just give it a chance. Um, so yeah, it's a great story. I kind of feel like you can see how he was pushed and pushed and pushed to the breaking point where you see him going into a refrigerator, and I feel like someone said in a different review of the movie, he kind of was like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, but obviously the Joker in the sense like he was Arthur Flick or something like that. I think it was spelled Fleck. Anyways, he was Arthur whatever, and then he became out as the Joker, and that was pretty cool. So, one more thing, you may recognize Robert De Niro's assistant. He's actually in the show, the Netflix TV show called Glow. He's like the manager type that falls in love with Alison Brie's character in the TV show. So, anyways, that's my little talk about / review. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some information out of it. I do feel like they took certain things from comic books and TV shows and movies and stuff like that, and kind of wrapped it all into one movie. Just a reminder, it is rated R, so be aware that if you're younger than 18 or younger than whatever it is that in your country, you might not be able to get in. I mean, some places are a little bit more strict than others, so just keep that in mind. So, whenever you watch this, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, night, and go see the Joker if you're able to. And if not, then wait for it to come out on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever. And bye.